We used to have, to be honest, when we had the 2 units and we were at the peak of our busyness, we had, I think, 12 staff. But because of our processes and how I've said how lean they are and everything, we can run on 4. I think what we're quite good at here is sort of adapting and acting quite proactively to changes that are happening. We're constantly looking at how much money's coming in, how much money we've got cash flow wise, what's going to need ordering. We do not a full stock take, but we've got a stock list. We go around and kind of eyeball everything a couple of times a week of, are we going to need that? Well, that one we get really quick, so we can wait for that one until the next one, or that one takes ages. We've got quite a bit of it, but we're going to need to order it because it takes so long to get here. And so when we noticed that, because obviously when we was on fair, that was crazy. When all of that kind of died off and things started to get quieter, we always knew that we was overstaffed, really. But because of how efficient it was, and it just meant that more cleaning was getting done and it was neater and tidier and it was quite a happy atmosphere and stuff. And then that was like the personal side of me. And then the business side of me kind of thought, basically, we're paying a lot of people to come chat and socialize. And realistically, they're not required. And it's a really hard thing to do. But actually, it's a really sensible thing to do. And trying to separate personal business is really hard sometimes. It's really, really hard. So we had to make a few cuts. And then a couple of people had left and moved on to other careers and stuff, and they weren't replaced, and we kind of did it as a trial, and we can literally manage most days with 2 in the warehouse, and as long as there's at least 1 in the office. So I'm not full-time anymore. I do Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and if there's shortages, I'll come in. Other than that, I only do the 3 days now because personally my health isn't amazing anymore, and I need a lot more rest and recoup than I did before. And Charlene in the office, she's not of perfect health either. She's got MS, which she's really open about, and she has good days and bad days. So it's quite good, really, because we can kind of bounce off one another. So say it's my Wednesday off and she texts me and she's like, I feel awful this morning. I'm like, that's all right. You say to me on Tuesday, go back to bed, I'll come in. And as long as there's somebody here, because the warehouse aren't as confident with the phone and stuff like that. So they will generally say, oh, I'm really sorry about that, but email on sales@soakrochford.co.uk and somebody will get back to you kind of thing. But yeah, so when we can manage on that. Holidays are a bit tricky sometimes, and it depends what my health or Shannon's health is like as to how much we can do to help in the warehouse. But if we need to, we can get temporary staff in, which we haven't had to do yet so far. But like I say, the processes are just so lean at the moment that we can just manage like that. Sometimes it will get a bit hectic. So if I've had a few days off or Shine's had a few days off, there's been 1 in the office, we get a long list of like all the tiny little outstanding jobs. It's like, that can wait, we're fighting fire, we're going to do the most important stuff. And I think in business, that's important to prioritize, because there's lots of stuff that you want to do, but there's other stuff you need to do. And unfortunately, the need to do stuff is always the dull, boring stuff that you don't want to do. Like, that's something that you don't want to do, but you kind of need to. So you need to prioritize. So yeah, office wise, we'll sort of on the days that we are together, it's quite nice to have a catch up, go through our little to-do lists each, and we both like to really tie things up on the Friday so we can empty our heads, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, lock up on Friday and go home without thinking or worrying about what's waiting for me Monday. And then emails over the weekend and people give us a job to do by Monday and it starts all over again.